I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters. I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed. But I can assure you there's nothing to fear. We've got a solution. It's called the Lifetime Employment Program. We will freeze most of the colony to preserve resources, while the best and brightest of Byzantium continue living in prosperity. Look, you idiots! How many times do I have to tell you we can't say shit like that? Fire whoever wrote this! While Halcyon's brightest minds solve the problem of our nutritional shortage, the rest of the colony will be placed in suspended animation. Individuals will be revived on a rotating basis, so that every Halcyonite can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again. And someday, in the not-too-distant future when we've solved this crisis, we'll all be back together again working for the good of Halcyon. Until then, the board shall provide for the deserving just as it always has. So, obey your supervisors, take your vitamins, follow your corporate-mandated grooming rituals, and rest assured with the board on your side, there is nothing to worry about.
I think I'm gonna start taking my lunches out in the city. That woman from downstairs is still in the cafeteria.
That scientist? The one who's been hounding the clerks? Ooh, gives me the shudders, too.
They're all pretty unpleasant. What do you think they actually do down there?
Best not to.
Hey, did Tillman get transferred or something?
That's right. You weren't here when it happened. So you do.
Sorry, I'm kinda in... I knew it. He's eating your lunch too, isn't he? This is great. I finally have someone... Oh, that's no problem. I can get you into the lab. In fact, let's go there now. Theodore's out right now, but we should be ready when he gets back. This... Hold, I need a favor. Think you could let my friend through just this once? After all, you still owe me.
Fine. But I don't want to hear anything about the catch-up packet incident ever again. And he's on his own if he runs into the guards downstairs.
You're the best, Holt.
You can't just help yourself. What do you think you're... All right. I'll look the other way this time. Let the record show that surgeon 23K's cause of death is cerebral vascular...
Something's not right.
Please! I don't want to die! Cover me! I'm going in! No! Please don't! I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Get away! You can't hide for a pound of...
Huh? What was that?
Here I come! Don't hurt me!
Crew report. Miyoka is drunk. Surprise. We've arrived at the groundbreaker.
Rizzo Spectrum Vodka. C&D Borsworth. It's Borsworth.
Is it done? Well, damn. Contractor grew a conscience. As your employer, I'm both angry and disappointed. Technically, I owe you an exit interview. Care to justify your betrayal of our species? Or are we finished? You're awfully quick to trust someone who offed her colleagues and called it a good start. Out of my office. We're done.
If you don't mind my saying, Captain. We've arrived at Phineas's orbital lab.
myself busy in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remain. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can. Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board. Thank you. You've brought me enough chemicals to get started, at least. I'm just sorry they came at the cost of human lives. Those poor people, they must have died in agony. What exactly was the board trying to accomplish? What nonsense! People aren't just slabs of meat the board can freeze and thaw at their convenience. I'll tell you this much. The board scientists are hopelessly lost. After years of fruitless experimentation, they've made exactly zero progress. I know! I've suspected as much for years. Of course, I don't expect the board to do a thing about it. They've been driving our colony to the brink of destruction for decades. The board's mismanagement put our colony on the road to collapse. If we don't put a stop to them, thousands of colonists are going to die. Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were all... That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make... Short of lining up every... Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to... We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope. Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius! We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab. Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can... You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope's skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them in... I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers. Scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from a...
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship. We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system, so... Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his... mental stability is not flattering.
Welcome aboard, Captain. I wish this place were in better condition for you, but we're in a... Do I look like an engineer? We shut off the main power, so they're disabled for now. And that means trigger-happy automation. We tried that. We stored what cards we could find in the badge station to my right, but it's locked. I'd heard rumors, but... Whew. All right.
Captain. I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found.
Remember not to take breaks on company time.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him. Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. Certainly. You may skip the Hope to Tartarus. Doing so would bring the Hope within close proximity of Phineas Wells. Your act would be immediately noticed across Terra 2, as the colony ship Hope abruptly... Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous, and also potentially kill an entire planet. Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2. Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADA. Does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive.
Yes.
You should not be doing this.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now. Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps we should check in on him.
Error. Hope crew data. Error. This unit is not... Error. This unit is functioning correctly. There is no need for the...
Captain, I am receiving a Captain,
Thank the law you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. How can I... Goodbye. Now arriving at Phineas's top secret... orbital lab. Some crew members are causing a disturbance. Captain, as it appears I believe the crew...
Those board goons kidnapped Mr. Phineas and hauled...
Are we really considering breaking...
To extract the scientist. I am programmed to warn...
Getting in is the simple part.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path.
If you really mean to do...
If we don't make it?
Got my trusty tossball stick.
Pounce. You can count on us.
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a...
Command!
Waiting on...
Can we talk?
I am pleased to inform you that we... Please be... Oh.
Attention. You are... I wager it'll take... to be honest. Huh? I just couldn't see you clearly before. Screen's on the fritz. Anyway, Tartar stalking authority... Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the... Pay no mind to...
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. How can I be... I request...
planted right by us once. No! The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, my
Garbage out the airlock. Great. More paperwork. No pressure! Tired of patrolling? Just go rub somebody out.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Here we go. Bless our eternal mind.
Well, look who it is. I'll be damned. When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'm not in your way, you dullard. You talk to me. You want to go die. Besides, I don't know what you think you're doing here. Yes, but that's... Oh yes, go on. I don't know what happened. Let me ask you something.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Oh, yes. Go on. Wake the... I don't know what half... Let me ask you something, Captain. If I and my people can ride it out in luxury... I'll admit, there's no shortage of... Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you manage to storm the castle as a... I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight! Take him down!
Stay down.
What's that?
I don't see what the fuss is about a blast.
Stay down, miscreant.
Never done this before, but that ain't gonna stop me now.
Captain, words cannot express the extent of my... I'm aware of your diplomatic talents, Captain. You have a gift for all your talents. Our partnership is behind us. You had your chance to work. Dr. Wells is being... All that's left to do is put... Well, that's mostly correct. I take no pleasure in leaving you alive. Fair enough. Interesting that you think I'm going to die here. I believe I'm more than capable of taking... Fair point. I don't know how you've managed to defy the odds. By every reason, I've devoted my entire life to protecting Halcyon. I'm not afraid to... There isn't much of a board left, thanks to you. You were always an unknown variable. Yes, my scientists assure me they can recover the data. That isn't true. That experiment was absolutely essential to the program. Don't you mind? We're going to have to start all over again. All that... I haven't given up on the program yet. You've caught... I haven't lost control of the lab. What? You can't be serious. Oh, for the love of the law. All right. Fine. I can see when I've been beaten. Congratulations, Captain. You've outplayed me. We won't cross orbits again. You have my word on it. The fate of the colony is in your hands now.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You must have said something to get under Akande's skin. She's gone, and I don't think she's coming back. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to... I would like nothing more. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they... We're in serious trouble. Yes, we do. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine... When I revived you, I thought you were... I had our role. We're not a colony any... Our future...
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. After returning to Edgewater, the deserters negotiated workplace reforms with Reed Thompson, including a single day of rest, which came to be known as a weekend. As the world around him changed, Thompson found himself pining for the old days. He was known to spend his weekends in the cantina, nursing one of the few remaining bottles of Zero-G, and repeating to himself, "It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice." As for Adelaide McDevitt, she tended to her garden in solitude for another year before passing away. Her body was discovered some months later, when Reed Thompson paid her a visit in an effort to make amends. Her remains were buried in a place of honor, underneath the floor of the Edgewater cannery. Reed believed this was what she always wanted. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the Lifetime Employment Program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never, after all he'd seen, though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite caved. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. As hard as she tried, the SAM unit that accompanied you, Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable effort. It was widely suspected that Sophia Akande was the true power behind Chairman Rockwell. However, after the riots on Tartarus, she was never again seen in the colony. Various theories circulated as to her fate. Some believed she boarded. There is another theory, which suggests that Sophia's encounter with you changed her, and she deliberately retreated from public view, but continued supporting the colony in secret. When Dr. Wells began reviving the Hope's colonists, he found himself with a sudden windfall of additional supplies and resources, courtesy of an anonymous donor. If Wells knew who his supply, Chairman Rockwell served as the public face for the changes in Halcyon to come. Whenever you needed strings pulled or a voice to sell a policy change, Rockwell was only too happy to oblige. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.